This is Jon Schaffer from ICED Earth, and you're watching Metal Wani.
Fernando from Metal Wani. We are in London today with Jon Schaffer for the MTV Headbangers Ball. Thank you very much to be with us.
Yeah, thank you.
So guys, it's been a week since you've been on tour with Kataklysm, Ensiferum and Unearth. So how has it been so far?
It's been really cool. It's a very diverse package, and I think it's been a good thing for all four bands. So we've had a good time, man.
I think this is a very phenomenal lineup. So whose idea was it to bring four bands of different genre, different style, and that everyone can relate to?
I'm assuming it's the MTV Headbangers Ball people, because they approached us with the package. So I mean, the ICED Earth didn't really have any decision to do with that. You know, it's not like when we do a normal headline tour and we go out and choose which our support bands are going to be. I mean, this was a package that was offered to us and giving us the headliner position, but we thought it was kind of cool because it's a different crossover audience. So maybe we're going to reach some new fans from this. Time will tell.
Mini festival, which is good.
Kind of, yeah.
So with the departure of Troy and Jake Dreyer as his replacement, it must have been quite difficult to find a musician who can not only add his personality but as well do what Troy did, basically.
Well, there's a lot of talented players out there, man. So the biggest thing is with Troy being out of the band is, you know, our brother's gone, but he's not gone. You know, he's still, we live like 20 minutes away from each other and we see each other, and so, you know, he's always going to be a brother to the end, and it's just that he's not in the band anymore. So, but we had like 200 guitar players audition, and there's so many awesome ones. I mean, but Jake, you know, we knew him because he was in a band called White Wizard that opened for us in 2011, and he's got the chops and he's got a great attitude. And when he came out for the in-person audition, I had a really great feeling about him, and so so far he's doing a great job. So it's really cool. Yeah.
Coming to the Judas Goat, it has been in making for about a year now. So what are the status of this album? Well,
actually, that was a working title, and we canned that. So the album is going to be called Incorruptible. It's going to be out in May next year. Okay. We haven't spent really a year on the record. I bought a couple buildings and turned it into the headquarters for the band. So that was a major amount of construction work to do, and build our own studio. And so that's the headquarters now, and really only for the last 4 months have we been focusing on the album, on pre-production, final arrangements and songwriting and everything. And that now when we go back in January, we start master tracking, and it'll only take about 5 or 6 weeks to get the album finished. And the way I work the pre-production is where most of the time is spent, so that we know exactly what we're going to do when we get into master tracking, and we just go for the best takes we can get, you know, at that point. So that's really where the bulk of the time was spent, was actually on building the headquarters, building the studio, and then, you know, going in and doing the pre-production. So we're a little bit late, but it's going to be worth it. Yeah.
Sure. So you have said in a recent interview that the new album is one of the most significant albums in ICED Earth history. So when you look back at an incredible album like Dystopia, a classic ICED Earth album, where do you think that new album will fit in?
I think it's, you know, they're all kind of their own thing, but I have a very strong gut feeling about this, and so does everybody in the band, that this is one of the really special. And so I put it up there with, you know, Dark Saga, Something Wicked, Dystopia. It's in that league of records, so it's really going to be something special, man. I mean, I know our musicians always say that, but this is really, there's something going on here, so it's cool. It's we're all very excited about it.
Yeah. So conceptually, the album Plague of Babylon was dedicated to the continuation of Something Wicked concept. So while some of the songs were standalone joints, what's the new album stand with respect to the concept?
There is no concept on this record. It's just 10 individual tracks not related to each other. So actually on Plagues of Babylon, it was only the first 6 that were related to the Something Wicked story. It was like a zombie apocalypse within the Something Wicked framework. So but this album is just, 10 individual songs, and we have one with a very cool Native American vibe called Trail of Tears. We have one called Clear the Way, which is about the Irish Brigade at the Battle of Fredericksburg. Very tragic, actually, but that's a big epic, like 10 minutes. And then we have one called Black Flag, which is a pirate song. It's like it's quite a I think I pulled it off pretty well with the lyrics to be able to tell such a big story in a very short amount of time. I think it's going to be a highlight of the record. And then on this tour, we're opening the show with a new song that will be the opener on the album. It's called The Great Heathen Army. That's got a Viking kind of a vibe to it. So you know, there's a lot of different, there's just a lot of different things, and none of it's really related. There's one called Raven Wing. I can't really think of all of it right now, but there's, you know, it's a seven-headed horror. That's one that's actually pretty brutal. It's like a total kick in the balls. But I mean, you know, there's a lot of varied emotions on this, and it's cool stuff, man.
Sounds like. So yourself and Stu Block has formed a songwriting alliance, which is really strong. Stu knows how to navigate through ICED songwriting structures. So how was his involvement this time, especially in respect to his vocals?
Well, I mean, he came at the end of about the last month or so of pre-production, maybe a little bit more, 5 weeks, and we worked on his vocal parts, and we do it like Stu and I normally do it. I mean, some of the stuff we write together. We wrote a song. I mean, I write the musical arrangements and do all that. He doesn't play any instruments, but he comes in at the end of the writing process is when we focus on his parts. And the lyrics that we worked on together on a song called Brother, which is about our brotherhood, you know, Stu and I, and within the band, and we've gone through a lot of shit together, and we've had a lot of great times together, but the bond is very strong, and that's clear. So it's just a song really about for us, you know. And then, you know, he wrote the lyrics for The Great Heathen Army. Trying to think, I can't think of them, man. I need to look at the list, but you know, usually he goes to an area and works, and I go in my area and work, and then like I said, on some songs we collaborate sometimes. On this one, the only one we did was Brother, but I can't think of the other song. Anyway, I mean, you know, we work in the way that we always work, and it's a very cool chemistry.
So as a mastermind of this band, and with so many lineup changes, how do you prepare yourself when such incident happens? Because like lineup changes can change the dynamic of the band, and with some new members coming up, does it help you to get inspiration and new energy with the band?
Well, new energy for sure. I mean, like Jake coming in, he came into this really late, so he doesn't have any songwriting credit on it, but he's going to be playing guitar solos on it. So it's but he's got great ideas. It's one of the things when I auditioned him, I wanted to hear where his head was at with original stuff, and he's got it. But from an energy standpoint, for sure. I mean, Jake's 24 years old, you know, so he's bringing in a very youthful energy, and Luke already does that as well. So, but I don't think it changes the. I mean, of course, they all bring their talent to it, but as far as the vision and the end result doesn't change very much, because I know what I want. I mean, that's why Iced Earth is a brand. That's why we've had a lot of success on every chapter of the band's history, you know, and I don't think there's any other bands that have had 5 lead singer changes that can say that they were successful through all of it, and we have been. So, I mean, it's all about leading and knowing the vision, staying true to the vision. And that's the reason that I named this record Incorruptible, because Iced Earth that logo represents 32 years of dedication to heavy metal, and it is absolutely incorruptible. This vision can't be corrupted. There's no amount of money on earth. So that's the whole thing of what we're about. This is the real shit, comes from a real place, and that's why we have some of the most loyal fans in the world, because they know it's real. So
I believe this is your last tour before the album cycle begin. So are you planning any other tour or any US tour perhaps?
Well, the next set of shows is going to be in the summer for festivals in Europe. Now that we know that we're going to be on target for the release date, it was a little iffy there for a while because of the amount of construction that we had to do. But now that we got to the point where we are, we know we can deliver the master at this point, and we can start planning. So, I mean, the festivals have already been planned. And even when they set this tour up, I said, guys, I can't guarantee we're going to have a new record by December 1st. I mean, I don't know, you know, at that point, because we set this up almost a year ago. But now that we know the plan, we will start working on North America, South America, possibly another headline tour. This is different because it's only an hour set, so I mean the Iced Earth fans aren't really very happy about that. And you know, we have this will be album number 12, man, and it's a lot. It's hard to make a set list, you know, so we can easily play for 2 or 3 hours and still not satisfy everybody. But we're not going to do that, but we are going to at least come back with a 90 to 100 minute set when we do a headline tour, which could be in the winter of next year. You know, whether it's going to be early 2018 or late 2017, I don't know. But definitely after the European festivals, then we'll do North and South America, and we'll start working on coming back to Europe in a proper support role for the new album.
Yeah. Last word for you. Could you describe in one sentence the sound of the new album? What would you say about the new album?
The new album is it's you know another journey, man. It's a roller coaster ride of emotion. There's new sounds. There's new inspiration. But it's very much Iced Earth, you know. But you'll hear something new in there. I mean, for instance, in Clear the Way, it's the first song that I ever wrote that has major keys in it. So that's really different for us. But it's killer, and it fits perfect with the story. So you know, it's a journey. I mean, the album's a journey, man. And you know, I think people are going to react very strongly to it. Usually, when we feel this strongly about a record, then the people are going to feel that way too. So it's pretty cool, man.
Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.